Welcome to Here to Be Human, a multi-dimensional soul. This is not just a podcast, it's a remembering. A space where soul meets skin and the sacred meets the messy. Where spirit is not something you escape into, it's something you embody here in this beautiful, chaotic, breathtaking human life. Each episode is a living transmission, a weaving of energy, truth, reflection, and remembrance, with questions for your soul, messages from beyond, and invitations to meet yourself in ways you've never dared to before. Whether you're walking through shadow or starlight, you belong here. I am Julie, your guide, your mirror, your voice in the void. This is Here to Be Human, and you are right on time. You are not just a human trying to be spiritual. You are a soul who chose to be human. This is Here to Be Human, a multidimensional soul. And this is episode 1, the soul's choice to be human. We begin here at the edge of remembering, at the threshold between spirit and skin. Because before you became who you are now, you said yes to all of this. So I'm going to invite you to reflect before we begin in segment 1. So if you can close down your eyes, feel your breath, and ask yourself, what if I chose this? What if every part of my life, even the messy, confusing, painful parts, was something I agreed to meet, hold, and embody? And just let that question sit in your body before it moves through your mind. And breathe. Open your eyes. So as we move on to segment 1, this is all about you were not sent here by mistake. So before you had a name, before you had a body, before you carried your first wound, you were consciousness, vast, curious, and whole. And you chose this incarnation, not to escape it, not to transcend it, but to meet yourself in a deeper way, through form, feeling, and limitation. The soul is not afraid of the ache. It knows that only in density can you know the beauty of light. Only in forgetting can you remember from the inside out. And so we're going to open up to spirit here and just bring through some channeled messages. And as I do so, I encourage you also to have a journal or sit with your eyes closed and really feel into the messages, take what resonates, what aligns, but most importantly, see if there are any further insights that you can channel directly from spirit as we go through. So the first question that we're wanting to ask spirit is, what was the soul truly saying yes to when it chose this human life? So just give me a moment. It was saying yes, not only to incarnate into this body, it was saying yes in order to experience a different version of life that you had experienced in the past. You were saying yes to have another chance to learn lessons in a different way, to meet the same souls and show up differently, to allow yourself to not only embrace the human side of you, but as you walked the spiritual path, you didn't disconnect or disassociate from the human body, but you brought along your human experience with the spiritual learnings that you are embarking on. So when you were saying yes, you were saying yes to an experience. You were saying yes to meet people that you have known in lifetimes, but to meet them in a different way, more evolved. And your soul knows the lessons that you have come here to learn, the lessons that you have mastered previously, and thus meeting people where they're at, who your soul has known for lifetimes, will allow the experience this time round to be different, to be deeper, to be expanded, possibly to even learn some of life's toughest lessons. This is what you truly said yes to. And this experience will bring you the ultimate fulfillment when it is time to transcend into a new form. Our next question to Spirit, and again, I invite you to sit with this and see if you receive further insights. Why does the soul choose density, duality, and form? The soul chooses density because without it, we will feel like as if we have no anchor. We require the density in order to feel all the parts of us, because it is easy to escape down a spiritual path. It is easy to escape when the light is calling you. And without feeling into the density of your human body, your heart, your lungs, all of your organs, all the experiences, life's little choices, your daily routines, all those create a sense of density. And density isn't negative. Density is required. Without the density, you will not know how to move through the light, how to experience the light, and how to be able to anchor it into all the parts of you. Density holds your soul. Density is not burden. It is not the heaviness that you feel when you are sad. Density allows you to fully immerse into the human experience. And your duality, well, that allows you to shift between the light, shadow. We need duality because it is our mirror. We need duality because it shows up in every aspect of our life, from the people we meet, to the situations we find ourselves in, to the thoughts and the emotions that we feel in this human experience. Duality exists everywhere. And it's in this duality, embracing it, understanding it, experiencing it, can we truly feel whole with another, and more importantly, feeling whole within ourselves. And our form, well, This is the part that is really beautiful. We keep coming back into the same form. As a human being, regardless of gender, regardless of family, regardless of known ancestral heritage and lineage here in the physical world. A form allows us to experience not only multiple lives, it allows us to relate to different situations. And even though we may not always remember who we once were hundreds of thousands of years ago, your form is important because your soul is what is remembering. Your soul is pushing your form, guiding you, navigating you, helping you on the path to experience this life, your lessons, the ups and downs in the same form, yet it looks different. This is why your soul chooses density, duality, and form, even though it might be slightly different each and every time. So, our next question to Spirit before we move on to segment 2. What illusions are ready to dissolve around the idea that being human is punishment? Well, this is an interesting question. So, what illusions are ready to dissolve around the idea that being human is punishment? The illusion or illusions that need to be released are more that your experiences, your situations, that they have been created because you've done something wrong in a past life and this is karma coming back. It is not. And I feel that those are the main illusions that people have when we experience hardship being human. And we get told over and over and over again that you must have done something in a past life to have this experience. But if we can remove the illusion and that story, it may just be able to set you free. So then you're not perpetuating or creating your own story in your mind that you cannot change anything, that you cannot shift your perspective, or that you cannot change the situation. We may not be able to change the outcome of something that has already transpired, but we can definitely change how we show up for ourselves moving forward. And so if we can break the illusion that everything bad that's happening to us or being human is a punishment because we're here to learn and experience, because someone had said you must have done something wrong in a past life. If we can remove that storyline, then it may just allow you to realize and to shift into a space where you wake up one day and you say, I'm not going to take this anymore, that I'm going to make a change, that I'm going to move forward because I haven't done anything wrong. I chose this experience. I chose to come back because I feel like there's more for me to learn. There's more for me to grow and evolve into, whether that is here in this physical world or whether you're doing it when you do transcend to go deeper, to ascend to a higher plane in the universe. So hopefully you enjoyed those insights from Spirit. And again, feel free to take a beat and pause and sit with these questions and see what Spirit has to say to you. So, as we move now into segment 2, which is all about the multidimensional truth. So, here it's really important to know that you exist in more than one form, more than one time, more than one place. You are the soul behind the dream, the awareness inside the story. You are this human self and so much more. Multidimensionality doesn't mean escaping this moment. It means holding many truths at once. You are both ancient and brand new. You are both bound and limitless. You are both this life and many others unfolding alongside it. This incarnation is not lesser, it's specific. You are here now because something can only be learned here. Let's see what wants to be spoken through the veil. So again, I'm going to ask Spirit to see if we can get some more insights around this. Okay, so the question is, how does Spirit view fragility, chaos, and confusion? So the things we often label as failure. So how does Spirit view fragility, chaos, and confusion? The things we often label as failure. Okay. Had a bit of a giggle because that's the energy that just quickly came over me. From Spirit's perspective, fragility, chaos, confusion, all the things that we do label as failure. And there's other things that, we'll say this is a failure and that didn't happen and I must be doing something wrong. So the things that we often label as failure are really an old construct. This is a construct from the modern world. It's because the human experience, as the soul evolves, the human experience too will evolve. But that does not mean that fear, doubt, society haven't created moments of suppression to keep us boxed in, to not allow us to completely express all of us. Now, I understand that there are rules and regulations in a society, so that way everyone is treated equal and fair. But this is beyond that. This is about how we label ourselves. And in the ancient times, these type of labels never existed. They were not an issue. They were not a problem. And so the human or the being hundreds of thousands of years ago, millions of years ago, would never have thought of themselves as a failure. They would have looked at situations as a learning in order to evolve, not just themselves, but their community, to impart knowledge. And through community, any form of what we look at as failure now would not have looked that way. It would have looked at, how do we make this better? Let's go back to the drawing board. So failure was never really an energy or a story or a label that our soul had encountered until only the last couple of hundred of years in the human race. And so I encourage you that in this chaos and confusion and fragility and the things that we're like, oh, this is bad, that's a failure, to take a step back and to realize that nothing is failure, that everything is a learning. And that doesn't mean that the learnings are easy. Most of our learnings that create sense of confusion or chaos have always come from a place where we feel that we've been abandoned or let down, or that we're not good enough. And so I feel like it's important that we embrace all of these experiences. We allow ourselves to feel the feelings that we have and understand that it is the soul allowing you to remember the parts of you in order to grow from that experience, and that you're not a failure. So now I'm going to invite you, the viewer, to sit with a reflection point. So you can pause the show here after this if you wanted to sit and do this now, or you can come back to it later. So your reflection point in this topic is, what if you are existing across multiple lifetimes right now? What if your current challenges are threads connected to other versions of you? And I want you to pause, and I want you to breathe into the possibility without rushing to solve it. So as we now move into segment 3, why we forget and why that's part of the plan. So the forgetting is not a punishment, it's design. Without forgetting, you would never feel the awe. You would never choose love again and again in a world where it's not guaranteed. You would never taste beauty with the ache of impermanence. So to be human is to remember through experience, through grief, joy, confusion, sensuality, breath, laughter, collapse, longing. You come home to yourself. So I want you to bring some further insights here. So let's just ask Spirit some questions, and then again, feel free to jot some things down along the way. Okay, so our first question to Spirit is, why is forgetting necessary for growth? It's important to forget in order to allow us to move from past. I don't want to use the word mistake. However, if your soul remembers certain things that you had gone through, trials, tribulations, passings, incidences, all of that, if you remembered that when you came into this world, you would be so cautious to not do the same thing again. However, when you come back into a new version of yourself, a new life, the map is different. The roadmap is different. So you cannot apply the same things that you did in a past life into this life, because the situations that you'll be encountering, the way people show up that you're going to be encountering, and some of your thoughts, feelings, and how you process things in this lifetime will be different to what you did before. And if you remembered everything, not only would you be cautious, you would try to maneuver almost like a chessboard, maneuver all the pieces so you had a straight line without experiencing the ups and downs, without experiencing anger and love and light and shadow and sensuality and isolation. It's really important that we experience all these things as if we're experiencing them for the first time, without a premise of, I have done this before and this is what worked and this is what didn't work, because different situation, different time, different energy when you're meeting people, because you cannot control the narrative. You cannot control how you're going to think and feel in any given moment. You can definitely take a step back and readjust and come forward after a moment of pause. But in the initial stages, that soul that maybe you remembered in a past life, don't forget, they're also going through their journey, and how they showed up with you in a past life will be very different to maybe how they're showing up in this lifetime because of the lessons that they're needing to learn. And this is why it's important that we do forget when we reincarnate, because it's going to give us an immense amount of growth that we can utilize as we transcend into the universe. And if we choose to come back again, there's another level of growth that the soul has expanded. So it means that we don't remember everything that we have gone through. We may have moments of reflection or moments of like, oh, that feels really familiar, but I'm not sure why I have an affinity to do that, even though I've never, been to that country before or understand that premise before. So I think it's really important that forgetting that past and coming into something that's new, and the soul is evolving, it's now the soul that's teaching you that you can go from a particular level to grow into the other one, because the soul has remembered it, and now it's guiding you to go deeper or to expand more or to follow your intuition when something comes up. And this is why it's really important that forgetting is necessary for our growth, as in forgetting who we once were before we are the person we are now. And our last question to Spirit for this particular segment would be, this is interesting, what are the hidden gifts within the most painful human moments? Okay. What are the hidden gifts within the most painful human moments? That the soul can rise up time and time again, that its evolution cannot be faltered, cannot be stopped, cannot be swayed. These are the hidden gifts in the most painful human moments, because it is the soul that is guiding you each and every time. And even though in the moment, not only is it painful, it is tough, it is hard, it is sad. Trust that you will pull through it, that things will get easier, that things will grow. Not only will you grow from the experience in the sense of the learning that maybe you won't allow someone into your life the way you did before based on certain, when people talk about red flags and all this type of stuff. Maybe you'll create healthier boundaries for yourself. They're all gifts that once we learn something, we're aware that this is the growth that we get. This is the evolution that we have. But those hidden gifts is that you become more and more connected to your soul. So that way your soul, you trust it, and your soul can teach you more by navigating you into really a path of growth, spiritual growth, human growth, and universal growth. And one of the prompts, I'm going to leave you here to do at a later day after this show, or if you come back and re-listen to all of this again and sit down with all the prompts that came through and all the questions we asked Spirit. So I'll be asking you this. What if pain is not proof you're lost, but proof you're alive? And what if being human is the most sacred spiritual act of all? So before we close out this episode, we're going to go through a little bit of an integration and a ritual so we can really embody this transmission, the frequency, the insights that came through, and also anything that you were feeling as we were moving through this episode and the words that were spoken. So this integration ritual is called I Am Here and That Is Enough. It is the coming home to the body. So to do this integration ritual, definitely have to find a quiet space. Let your body be soft and feel the inhale. Feel the exhale. Now say out loud or to yourself in your mind, I am not here to transcend life. I am here to live it fully. I am not a mistake. This moment is not a mistake. I trust the unfolding of this incarnation. I am here, and that is enough. Let yourself feel your breath. Let it root you in your own presence. And take a moment to reflect. Where in your life have you been trying to escape what's meant to be embraced? Breathing in, breathing out, and coming back to your present moment. You are not just a soul passing through a body. You are a soul anchored into this body. And you're exactly where you're meant to be. In our next episode, the human path is not a mistake, it's an initiation. Until then, breathe, feel, remember, you chose this. Thank you for being here fully. If today's episode stirred something in you, if you have a follow-up question, a reflection you'd like to share, or a way this conversation aligned with where you are right now, I'd love to hear from you. And if there are specific questions you'd like me to ask Spirit in future episodes based on what's coming up for you, send me a direct message at here.to.be.human.podcast on the Instagram page. Remember, your voice, your questions, your presence, they're part of this journey too. And if you'd like to connect with me more deeply, you'll find everything, sessions, programs, and updates over at www.moderndaymedium.com.au or on my Instagram page, which is at modern.day.medium. This is your invitation. This is the return. And this is what it means to be human. So until next time, stay with yourself, stay with your soul, and keep choosing this sacred, messy, and miraculous life.